My name is JC Crawford. This is my company right here, JC's Pressure Washing. We started right after I got out of high school when I was 17 years old, and we've been doing nothing but growing ever since. We'll do residential jobs, we'll do commercial jobs. On the residential side, we wash houses, roofs, we make a joke, we'll wash a dog for 20 bucks, And today, we're actually doing the University of West Florida softball and baseball complex. This is a huge job. This is a fun opportunity. And I thought that was such a cool thing to do, especially as a younger guy, to be able to get the opportunity to come and do a project this size. And so we walked around. So we're gonna do 5 sets of bleachers on the baseball side. We're gonna do 4 sets of bleachers on the softball side. We're gonna do pavers, flat work. We're gonna do tables. We got a lot of the windscreens. We're gonna touch those up for them. I really like opportunities like this because with the way that we're gonna get paid, half of it's gonna go towards us, and then the other half is gonna go towards a sponsorship through the baseball community. And so we'll be able to sponsor a weekend game. We'll be able to get plugged in with the people who live in Pensacola, who go to UWF. And that's a big passion of mine, is not just having a company, but having something where you're able to go out and eat at night and know people who come up to you and really build a community. Same thing with my guys and the people we work for. I started my company and it was still kind of formatted as like the way a 17-year-old would mow lawns. And I realized right when I turned 18 that I needed to go ahead and get my LLC, my DBA, my county licenses, and I had no idea what any of it meant. I remember talking to my DIT teacher in high school, and she let me know about a program called SBDC. And that's when she got me in touch with Krista Wilson. And I reached out to her. We set up a meeting the next week. And then just like that, I went in there and it just made everything so much easier. I didn't even know what a DBA stood for. And then we were able to get that done, an EIN number. I was completely lost. I know how to wash buildings. I do not know how to do the paperwork stuff. And after we got out of the meeting, it just made everything so much easier. I couldn't be more grateful for the SBDC. For any young person, older person, whatever stage of life you are who are thinking about starting a business, it could be the biggest thing you ever do for your life, and it'll also be the hardest thing you'll ever do for your life. I can promise you that you'll have more sleepless nights than you've ever had. You'll stress more than you ever had. But the way I phrase it is, the stuff that I was dreaming about when I was 16 and 17 years old, I get to actually live out on a day-to-day basis. And so the way I see it, I think it's worth the loss of sleep. And just to get the ability to build something bigger than you, to get the ability to not only do what one man can do on a project, but be able to lead a team of 10 or 15 men in 6 or 7 trucks, whatever it is, it's just the ability to be able to build something so much larger than yourself. I think it's an opportunity that I wouldn't recommend skipping. I really highly recommend giving it a shot if you can. So the idea is to be able to do D1 or D2 colleges around the US. We go in there, completely transform the place top to bottom. We'll redo the landscaping, the pressure washing, the soft washing, the window cleaning. And then after we're there for 2.5 weeks, all of our guys work harder than anyone's ever seen. And then we stay for another 6 days and we just talk about the Lord, talk about evangelism, and be able to showcase it through our work ethic, and that's why we have the Bible verse on the truck. Do everything for the glory of God, whatever you do, whether you eat or drink, and be able to do that, and then be able to talk about God with the students and evangelize to them, and kind of live out what we speak, I guess. That's the big picture. That's the goal. Anyone who comes to me and is like, hey man, I've seen what you've done with your company, I would like to do something similar, the first thing I bring up is the SBDC. I say you need to build a strong foundation. The same way that they're going to build a 60-story skyscraper, they spend the first year just doing the foundation. And I would say the same thing when it comes to the legality side of building a company. And the SBDC is going to be the best source to get that strong foundation built. So that way 100% sure that everything else is up to you. You can focus on the actual work, you can focus on that kind of stuff, and all the legality side, the LLC, all that stuff is already going to be handled by the SBDC.